Hello, good evening, and welcome to Fragmaster's Friday, the 11th anniversary edition on Old Westhill. Now, before we get going, we should mention that we're using very old software and a little bit of an old setup on our side as well, so expect some jank. I'm joined in the commentary box by Zdeněk Sagash for this one. Hi, Zdeněk.
Hello and good evening, everyone.
Hi, so yeah, this is going to be a fun one for sure. We broadcast the 10th anniversary edition of Fragmaster's Fox Friday last year, and we're back again to do the 11th. So it's a big milestone for Live for Speed and the Fragmasters team especially. And for this event, the Fragmasters team have prepared a new kind of face for their team. They're running it on their paints. Some of you may have seen it already, but they are unveiling a new logo today.
Yes, I quite like these new skins. They show their team colors very well and look very beautiful. They really stand out on the car.
Yeah, so there you are, the new Fragmasters logo for the 11th anniversary of the team. A bit of a facelift there, which is nice. Qualifying's underway, but in the meantime, let's look through what's going to happen in this historic event, I think it's safe to say. So, like we mentioned, we are at Old Westhill in 0.6B, 5.2 kilometres, 3.2 miles. It's a circuit that a lot of us are familiar with, and some people may not be familiar with it in this 10-year or 11-year-old version of the sim. 1900 hours UTC, we have single one-shot qualifying, which is underway, and then we have a 56-lap race that we're going to be bringing to you very shortly, hopefully. Qualifying should go on for around about 20 to 25 minutes, we believe. And yeah, it's a good format because everybody gets one lap, so we'll bring you those in a few moments' time. So the car, which you should all be familiar with if you're involved in the Fragmasters Fox Friday Championship, because, well, we've been using it for years. But it's a 2-litre inline-4 mid-engine rear-wheel drive car with 190 brake horsepower, and it weighs just under half a tonne. Alright, so we have a list of entries as well to show you for today's event. It is a long list, but yeah, 32 drivers. We have a list of drivers who made it in because they are a member of the Fragmasters team or have essentially, they've completed a competition or won a championship. So there you are, TJ, Gabor, Pantheo, Isaac, and Teo Rodolfo, who are not members of the FM team, but are on the lineup as well. And then obviously here the list of pre-qualifiers, 19 pre-qualifiers, and Dario, the first reserve there, shown in 20th. So it's a big grid, and it should be fun to return to Old Westhill in Live for Speed. Zdravko, who have we got on the lap just now? Sorry, Zdeněk. Zdravko. That's a good start.
Yes. We are watching him going through the second sector right now on the old back straight. I should note this version of Westhill is very difficult from the one we know right now as the recent one. Because as you will see during the race, basically the drivers use full throttle 90% of the time and only lift for the chicane and brake after second sector and into the final turn. So there's still a lot of time to lose because precision is rewarded highly here. Zdravko is coming through the final turn and finishing his lap. Looks like it will be a good one. Let's see how it will turn out. Oh, it's 33.7, which should put him into the first half of the field. In the pre-qualifying, we saw some really fast lap from JSRK, which is actually Sione Katila. He did 33.23, followed by young Tommy B, as we saw in the graphics, with 33.47. In the practice, we saw the fastest lap by Isaac Price, who did 33.25. He was quite ahead of the second guy in the practice. I don't remember who was it now, but I think Isaac will be one of the favorites coming into this race. So we will, if you want to bet, you can place your bets on him with quite good odds.
Yeah, there was a big billing before this event that we were going to get the showdown between Isaac Price and Sami Lipmanen, but unfortunately Sami Lipmanen, the notorious Fox champion, is unable to be here today, which is a little bit of a shame. But yeah, Isaac is big competition for all of the current and past Fragmasters members. But yeah, currently Zdravko Topolniak, Fragmasters number, leading the way ahead of all of those FM drivers. Here comes Finn UK, taking a pretty tight line out of the old hairpin up to start finish, and we'll see what he has managed to do. It's a 34.7, so at the back of the pack for now, Zdeněk, but plenty of drivers left to go, of course.
Yeah, it's not a stellar lap, but I think with his skills he should do fine in the race. We have now Onifus coming to the line with another great lap, and comes across the line with 33.91, so very close at the top for now.
Yeah, so it does feel very strange being back at the Old Westhill track. I'm sure the drivers have enjoyed it, a sense of nostalgia maybe for some. Maybe some drivers here have maybe forgotten it a little bit, and that might have been a bit of a learning experience. But for the older guys, as we see Michael Malik actually posting a time in the top 5 there, splitting some of the FM drivers. We've got some of the non-FM drivers starting to set lap times as TJ goes on to a lap now.
Yes, I expect a great lap from TJ as well. I favor him. I think he should be in the top 5, at least in the qualifying, maybe in the race as well.
Zesty with a great lap there, going P2. Almost 2 tenths behind number. A nice lap from the master race car driver there.
Joni Katila is on a great lap today, driving as JSRK Finn. His split is quite faster than numbers, so let's see how he does.
Yeah, Joni Katila, using probably what was his old name back when this was the only version of Westhill, maybe. Here he comes. Nice line out of the final corner. And let's see where he will qualify for the 11th anniversary race of Fox Friday.
A great lap.
Great lap.
It's a really great lap. Just 200s behind Isaac's practice lap time. So that's really, really well done.
Yeah, it's a great lap that. Isaac is on the track as well, of course. Pedro is out too, but here is Isaac forcing a yellow car today.
Yeah, very default colors, but that will separate him from the rest.
Yeah, so his best lap time in practice was a 33.25, and let's see if he can get anywhere near that in practice. In the qualifying session itself. But only one lap to do it, and you have to be something very special to post the perfect time in a one-shot qualifying session. Isaac Price is about as good as they get, so let's see how he fares. Great to see him here. Pedro comes across the line and he goes P7 with a 1:34.08, so a good lap time from the road appraiser driver there. Currently behind Onifus. Here's Race Green's Magic, no stranger to the Fragmasters Fox Friday races.
Yeah, Race Green being represented today only by him and Redbot. The other drivers probably didn't fancy this combo, but it's not for everyone, I can understand, because you have to be really precise throughout the whole lap, not miss any apex, any turning point, any braking point, because tiniest mistakes is really punished by time loss, which you cannot really catch up that much on this combo.
Donny comes across the line to go P6, 6 tenths off the pole position time, only 100th behind Rando. So a good lap that from Iron Donny. Gabor's out on track, and I love how these Sidus liveries look in the old lighting. Really metallic, lots of shimmer on that paint, so that's quite nice. As Isaac is on his hot lap now, he is entering the final few corners. It's going to be a good lap, I reckon. Shame we couldn't have caught all of it, but there we go. Down to the final corner he comes. Where will he be on the times?
Yeah, his second split is on par with Joni Katiela, so let's see. He's on full gas, going to the finish line.
To start finish he comes, taking the shortest route possible, of course. And second, wow, so not able to get
slower.
pole. Yeah. But there we are. You have to do the perfect lap, and it's really difficult to do. On that occasion, Joni got the better of Isaac, but there we are. Here comes Gabor. He will be starting his lap. Comes up the hill towards the old Turn 1, which is a lot easier than the current Turn 1 up the Westhill, available in 0.6V. Turn 2, again, flat out, a lot easier than it is now. It's a lot wider. And then the turns 3 and 4 complex, again, a lot wider, a lot more forgiving on this configuration. And that's possibly why it was an old favourite. It was just flat out in this car, absolutely flat out everywhere. Even the chicane that he's coming up to now can be taken flat. Absolutely no lifting through there, straight across the curbs, brilliant, and then onto the back straight. Down to the first braking point of the lap. Now, Maunakassa's just gone P3 ahead of Zdravko there. That was a great lap. Maunakassa is infamous, being pretty rapid in the Fox, so he'll certainly be one to watch as we keep an eye on Gabor here, driving for Sidus. Heads through this twisting complex of corners, which of course were replaced by a back straight and a small chicane, and down to the final corner, which largely remains the same, slightly reprofiled of course. It has its own unique challenge in this version of Live for Speed. Onto the home straight then for Sidus Gabor. Let's see how he fares on this version of Westhill. Not sure whether he was one of the drivers who actually drove the old Westhill, but there we go. P4.
Yeah. His second split was as good as Isaac's, but this last split cost him a lot of time.
Here comes Rodolfo across the line to start a lap. Yeah, another driver who's absolutely synonymous with the Fox events. Here comes Unite just to set a time actually, P14. That's not a good lap time for Unite. He won't be happy with that as he slams into the tyre wall at the end of pit lane.
That will be a big disappointment for him because I think he expected top 10.
I think we expected top 10 from him. He's one of the most experienced guys out there.
Yeah, we have a Christian who spun at the exit of the...
Yeah, he's been overtaken by his teammate, in fact, during the qualifying run. So, yeah, not brilliant for Christian. Christian is super quick in the Fox, so he'll be very unhappy with that. I believe that was actually his actual timed lap, so this will be a back-of-the-grid start for Christian, unless anybody else makes a similar mistake. Quite a few cars out on the track. Ayub is coming up to the back of the stricken car of Teo GP's Christian there. Ayub driving for Born to Race, of course. Yep, very experienced again in the Fox. Let's see what he can manage on his attempt. Let's go start finish up to turn 1.
I think Christian now has more opportunities for strategy now because we expect one pit stop strategy for this race. And Christian starting from the back, being a fast driver he is, he could maybe stop earlier than others, and profit from it later on.
Rodolfo comes across the line into P11. 7/10 off pole, just behind Onifus. So splitting Pedro and Onifus. That's the middle of the grid, which isn't necessarily a good place to start, as Abe gets oh so close to the tyres through the old chicane. I keep saying old underneath everything, I need to stop that. Strutter comes to the line. This will be to start a hot lap. Yes, so one of the final FM drivers to start a lap. Strutter, incredibly quick, of course. Everybody here is incredibly quick. And let's see what they can do on the timing tower. Strutter goes through turn 2 again, perfectly flat. I wonder, some of the drivers will have to lift, obviously, on the first and second laps if they're tucked underneath the rear wing. We've seen plenty of incidents and accidents at Old Westhill where you just get too close to the car in front and spear off into the gravel or the grass. Here comes Strutter. A little bit of a touch of the curb, which unsettled the rear of the car a little bit, but shouldn't matter as he heads through the chicane. See if he can take it flat. A little bit of a lift, I think, on the entry. Now onto the back straight. Hasn't changed much. Just the trees have grown. Then into the second chicane. Only the 2 apexes to this one. There are now 3 apexes in the new version. Then we have this lovely flowing S's section, and then down to the hairpin. What will Strutter manage? Like a pretty smooth lap, but yeah, the lift at the chicane, not what I was expecting. A little bit of a slide on entry. I know that's how you kind of take these cars, but leaving plenty of rubber on the road. Let's see what Strutter can manage. He's run out of fuel, so he's timed the lap well. Cross start finish, and it's only P22. He won't be happy with that.
Yeah, Fragmaster's probably qualifying a bit lower than they expected, but they still have Number and Rando and Onifus in top 10. By the way, the field is quite close so far because top 17 is separated by less than 1 second.
We're watching Argentina Turismo's Yaroloco. Bit wide through the final corner. And out onto start finish. 24 drivers have set a lap time. And let's see what he can manage on his attempt as he heads up the home straight towards turn number 1.
Yeah, he's the last driver on the track to settle up, coming into the turn 3 and followed by the turn 4, which compared to the new Westhill lacks the exit curb. Although it is banked, you can really easily put wheels on the grass like Yaroloco did right now, and if you are not lucky, you easily spin out of control.
Yeah, well, you can certainly see we've got the cream of the crop. You can see the spread of times there. There's basically nothing between the entire field besides Christian. So it's going to be a great race. We hope you stick around for it. We're just coming up to the end of the qualifying session. We don't have 3 hours and 41 minutes left, thankfully. Yaroloco will be the final car to set a lap. And let's see where he goes. How high up the board can Yaroloco get?
Yeah, I saw he took the chicane quite slowly, like 10 kilometers to almost 20 kilometers slower than others. And his second split shows that because it's 53.24, 1 second slower than the top guys, coming to the line with 35.21, and it's good for 24th place, which is the second to last.
There we are then. That is the qualifying done for the 11th anniversary edition of Fragmaster's Fox Friday. And yeah, we should take a moment to take a look down the running order for the race. So JSRK, Yoni Katila takes the pole position at 1:33.27 ahead of Isaac Price, Mauna Kasa, Zydus' Gabor, Fragmaster's Number, then it's Road Appraiser's TJ, Master Race Cars Zesty, Fragmaster's Rando, Iron Donny, and FM Onifus rounding out the top 10. Then we've got Rodolfo, Zago, TJ for Pedro for Road Appraiser. Then it's Born to Race's Abe El Hanouni in P14. Fragmaster's Platano, Race Queen's Magic, Sidus Unite, Teo Pantheo, Race Queen's Redbot, and Michael Malik for Master Race Car rounding out the top 20. Onto the second sheet of results now, and we have Al Payson for Fragmasters, Finn UK for Fragmasters, and Strutter for Fragmasters in P21 through 23. Argentina Turismo's Yara Loco and Teo Christian will round out the field. Now I think we've got around about 5 minutes before we get lights out here, so plenty of things to talk about before that happens. Zdeniak, when was the last time you drove a lap around the Old Westhill circuit?
That is a very good question, which I don't know if I have the answer to, because it was probably before the new Westhill came out, which is, I don't know how many, 7 years now? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I drove a few laps earlier today just to see kind of what my pace was, and I'll spare myself the blushes by not telling anyone what I did. We have 3 minutes to go, so we are gonna just wait around a few moments for that to happen. I think Yoni will be pretty happy, obviously, that he's got pole, but especially that he's got pole over Isaac. I think Isaac might be a little bit unhappy that he didn't manage to get the pole position, but yeah, that's a good place to be starting, isn't it, for turn one?
Definitely, with grip loss going on in this fast combination of track and car, it will be important to have the pole position, because you can just hold everyone back behind you in the single line, and they just cannot pass you in many places unless you make a mistake. So if Yannick makes a good start and doesn't let Isaac go side by side, he should be good to go for the start.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be another part of their friendly rivalry going on in multiple series across LFS.
Yeah, all friendly, but there we are. The new Westhill track is 6 years old, so it would have been at least 6 years between most of these guys driving this track and today, or the last week. Obviously, there was a pre-qualifying session to get into the event, and then so plenty of experience needed and plenty of practice needed to get a good time around here for this event. 90 seconds to go till the green flag will fly. I can't wait. We have 56 laps around this 5.2 kilometer, 3.2 mile WE1 circuit in LFS 0.6B, and it's going to be quite nostalgic. It's been a long time since we've watched racing around this track, of course. Plenty of obviously race organisers were organising Fox events around Westhill, myself included, back in the day, which was awesome fun. But Fragmasters are the original Fox series, really, the original and the best, and still going strong in 2021. 25 drivers then will take the start, we believe, for this event in under 1 minute's time. Should be awesome.
Indeed, it's a bit shame we didn't get the full field, because we had 33 drivers.
32 drivers, yeah.
32. So it was actually the full grid, but we still got 25 drivers, so it will be fun regardless.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us on Twitch and YouTube at the Sim Broadcasts channel. Sit back and relax and enjoy this one as we take you to the grid in 10 seconds time. Cannot wait. Here we go then, Zdeniak.
Yeah, cars are set up on the grid, waiting for the lights to come on. We see Johnny's skin with Orlan sporting Alfa Romeos. The lights are on. Long hold and we are go. Johnny gets a good start, better than Isaac, who is followed by Mauno Casa. Everyone trying to catch everyone's draft. Johnny going away from the draft of not giving Isaac the draft he needed. Mauno Casa looking down the inside, but there is no space. Gabor is catching the slipstream of Mauna Casa, but as I said, there's really no place to pass.
Yeah, apparently all the cars have made it through turn 2, so hopefully they can make it around a full lap without much drama. Yoni, absolutely amazing start, and it looks like all the drivers are enjoying the first lap. This is absolutely insane watching these guys go around here.
We have Loco spinning in the turn 4, as I said. Putting a wheel off there will cause you all sorts of trouble. So Loco is the first one to get caught.
Yeah, we ride on the rear wing of Yoni. You can see he's already put a little bit of a gap over Isaac, but such is the nature of this car that it does leave quite a big slipstream. Mauna Casa definitely closer to the back of Isaac than Isaac is to Yoni, and there's quite a string of cars further back. We've got Zesty in the mix here. He's trying to get past TJ for Road Appraiser. And Donny is looking forward to having a battle with Rodolfo, who's side by side with Rando. Rando on the inside for the final corner. Rodolfo doing the move around the outside. And then there's going to be all sorts of slipstreaming going on down the home straight. Donny's already managed to break Isaac's toe. And it looks like, look at the massive weaving going on down the straight. We've got, who's that? That's Number in the mix. Number, TJ and Zesty there. 3 wide almost for turn 1. Number on the inside. That looked awesome.
Nicely done. It's a massive pack of slipstreaming battles. It almost feels like an oval in places.
Yeah, this is quite nostalgic, I have to say. I kind of wish I was driving. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, our leader, Yoni Gatilla, makes his way through the chicane for the second time, followed by Isaac Price. Oh, so close. Isaac almost clipping the tyres. I'm sure there's going to be someone in those tyres by the end of the day, especially as the tyres begin to fade. But look, Isaac got such a good exit. Tiny amount of slipstream going on there. We've got Rodolfo side by side with Zesty. Rodolfo in the green, default green FOX there. And Zesty for Master Race Car has to yield that one. We'll let Rando catch up as we have a battle on for the lead by the looks of it. Isaac really is tucked underneath the rear wing of that Fox, the Alfa Romeo inspired Fox. Zdeniak?
Yeah, not really quite close to catch a draft, but battling hard, using every inch of the track. He finds the fastest line. It's really fun to watch. But still not close enough.
Yeah, the nature of this really wide circuit is that we end up with so many cars side by side. And look at this, we've got Unite leading a whole gaggle of cars. That's Platano going for a move into turn number 1. Side by side now with Unite, who qualified very badly, it has to be said, for his usual performance. Michael Malik making a move on Zago there, or trying to defend a place, not quite sure. There's so many cars involved. Turn 2.
It's madness, absolute madness. What do we see? People battling each other. Michael, Unite, Zago, Pantel, everybody going into turn 3 at once.
Yeah, that is too wide going into the apex. This track is too wide. Far too wide.
Unite going onto the grass holds the car in the straight line, so it's good for him. I just wanted to say he gained 3 positions, but he already lost 1 back, so it will be tough for him to climb the field up in these conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this going off in the background. We've got Al Payson is about to get absolutely mugged by Ayub. Here comes Ayub. He's gone to the inside. He's being followed also by Pantheo. Pantheo wanting to get in there. Kai, the one of the guys who's basically, he's completely responsible for partly responsible for the running of the Fox Friday series for so many years. He's side by side with Finn UK. Oh, as we've got a little bit of lag there. Sorry. Finn UK on the inside now.
Yeah, somebody has...
That is Ayub having some trouble there. And I think he's realised it. It's always been dive bombed there by Finn.
Oh,
great move. Pantheo looking to get in on the action.
Yeah, 3 wide coming into the finish line. Ayub, Finn UK. Oh, Ayub, another lag, and he has to take evasive action. This is not looking good for him.
so much action at the back. But as we were watching that, Isaac Price set the fastest lap to bring the gap down to 0.4 of a second at the front. Maunakasa is dropping back a little bit, but we have no idea of the long-term strategy of any of these guys. It's so interesting to see what's going on. Number has made it up to P5 and seems to be holding that for now ahead of TJ. Similar gap between these two as at the front. But yeah, so many memories of this track coming back to me now while I'm watching this. As who was that? Pedro goes seriously wide, almost clipping the tyres again. Michael Malik has binned it at the chicane in that McLaren livery. That looks very bent. That's going to be a long drive back to the pit lane. Apparently he's been in the tyres, and you can tell from that car that he's been through the tyres.
Car looks okay though. It's just heavy suspension damage on the left, but should be drivable. So it's just cosmetics for now. Lucky for him, because if you hit the tires wrong, it can really end your race.
Yeah, we're riding on the front wing of Isaac Price because as he enters the home straight, he is within striking distance on Yoni's car. I don't think there'll be a move on this lap into turn 1, but the gap is going to have come down significantly as we watch them drive up towards this flat out turn 1. We'll stay on board with Isaac unless anything happens, so keep your eyes out, Zdeniak. Here we go through turn 1. Beautiful flat out, so wide in this car. Again, turn 2, easily flat, even if you're following at this distance. And we head underneath the ESL bridge, famous ESL bridge, down into turn 3. Another flat out corner. Then we've got the short run to turn 4. Don't want to go onto the curb there because it unsettles the car. Both of these drivers avoiding it.
Michael spectated. Michael is out of the race.
Yeah, and also we've had Strutter off as well at turn 1. Strange place to go off. I don't know whether he was in a battle, but anyway, he's managed to get some damage on the front wing of his car. And as we head back to Isaac, we just missed him go through the chicane, but anyway, the gap to Yoni's opened up slightly on this lap. But it looks like a pretty fun, intense battle out front with Maunakasa. You have to say, dropping off ever so slightly. But still within striking distance, certainly. One mistake from these two, and the likes of Maunakasa and Gabor could be all over them. Speaking of Gabor, look at this.
Yeah, battle for third place with Maunakasa and Gabor. Gabor is looking to the outside, to the inside, but decides not to take the action yet. Waits for the finish straight, but he's too far now for any draft action.
Yeah, he's choosing not to go into the slipstream of Maunakasa there, which is a little bit weird. Further back, we've got Donny and Rando going at it side by side across start-finish. The red and black car there of the iron car. Donny has got an absolute swarm of Fragmasters cars in this field. It's absolutely brilliant to see those as they go side by side through turn 1. Easily side by side, but Donny gets the place up into P12. Good move. Platano immediately coming under threat as well. Zago has managed to do Platano as well. And it's close. Is it getting closer? It's kind of getting closer between TJ and Number. He's definitely gaining in that old McLaren livery. Sadly, one of the McLarens has been in the wall, but this one's still going.
It just shows that old quality never dies. Or something like that. We have side-by-side action with Pedro and Zesty going into the braking zone after second split. Zesty keeping it close behind Pedro, and he will have a draft for the final turn. Trying to not gain too much before it's the right time. Drafting, but probably thinks better of it because he can draft past on the start-finish straight, and Pedro goes very wide, manages to keep it on the track.
Yeah, Pedro may have been trying to get out of the trying to not give Zesty the slipstream for the whole corner, but this could be close. Let's stay on board with this. There are battles going up further front, but as we go through turn 1, Zesty goes to the inside and he's ahead, but Pedro crucially has the inside for turn 2. No, he doesn't. He's been passed quite easily there.
Yeah, he's lost the grip and almost runs out of track.
Meanwhile, TJ is drawing up to the back of Number ever so slightly. He's definitely closer than he was at this point on the last lap. We're already 7 laps gone in this race almost. And yeah, there's battles all the way up and down the field. And we haven't even got into the strategy part of this race yet. Here they go through the chicane. Number nicely through. And a little bit better than TJ, it has to be said, because the gap's opened up slightly.
Yeah, top two guys and third and fourth place already run away with the race a little bit. Then it's Number and TJ and Rodolfo, and with a tiny gap is Zesty and the rest of the field. And Number makes a mistake, and TJ capitalizes on it, goes past easily.
Yeah, but Number's going to have the slipstream down into the final corner. Oh, seriously close. TJ going defensive. And Number just needs to make sure he gets a good exit, because he might not realise it, but Rodolfo is right behind him as well. I'm sure he does realise.
Yeah, no, this should be easy pass into turn 1, because Number knows what to expect and knows what to do, and he does exactly what I expected him to do, as Isaac does fastest lap 34.06, and the Number keeps gains the 5th position back.
Yeah, Number is certainly a driver who knows what he's doing. Number sent us a replay from 2010 of a Fox Friday race around here, with the likes of Failure and all the old names as they go side by side again.
Sticking the nose into turn 3, and Number was forced to take a wider line, but there was no contact and no time lost.
No, this group is interesting because we've got Rodolfo there just being very patient at the moment, trying to catch up to the back of these guys. But he's in a good place if they do come together. Meanwhile, it's like Platano's got himself into a bit of a battle with Teo GP. He's been wide and he's been overtaken. Pantheo's looking to make a move. In fact, he's already making a move on Rando, the driver who is kind of synonymous with keeping his tyres alive for very long races, which is a skill that he might need to use today. Look at this, line astern. We've got Teo, FM, Teo and FM. Looks great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We are 8 laps in, and it's still like it's the first lap.
Yeah, it's just the nature of this track and this car. We haven't seen this close action around Westhill since, well, what would it be, 2016?
Ooh. TJ ran wide in the final turn and lost quite a lot of positions. Now down to 11th place, with Unite coming hot on his back.
Yeah, that is quite a lot of places. Number's been given a little bit of a breathing room there, as we've got this Teo FM battle going into turn 1. They're all over each other. Rando is going to have to go defensive, and anyone who's at the back of this train isn't going to have fun through turn 2. Rando had to take a slightly tighter line to avoid the slipstream, of course. But yeah, what a race. I mean, yeah, if you weren't on this grid, then unlucky. Pre-qualification, as I'm told, was pretty tight. It is a shame, as you said at the top of the show, Zdeniak, that we didn't get the 7 extra drivers that we wanted for this race. I'm not sure where they've gone, but there we are. Still, a very healthy grid of 25 drivers started the race, as we've got one of the tail drivers going wide. Who was that? Ooh, Pantheo.
Yeah. It was super close, and he's lucky to keep it on the track without any problem. Rando, although hitting the draft of him and looking to pass him into the next turn on the inside. And yeah, that was quite easy for him. Although Pantheo will be hot on his heels into the next complex.
Yeah, he certainly will. He's going to have so much draft through these easily flat out S's as he pulls. Which way is he going to go? He's going to go to the outside. And let's see how this works out as they break. I think Rando made that quite easily.
Yeah, he's probably thinking. He was probably thinking about drafting past him on the start-finish straight, but Pantheo had better exit. Behind them, Ayub is making places. He's trying to make up the places lost from his lag problems. Back from 23rd to 18th, and just past Payson.
Yeah, Payson was so eager to get back. He put a nose in very late into turn 1, but he hasn't managed to get the job done. He'll have to find a way past somewhere else if he want to get past there. But in the meantime, Magic for Race Screen who is normally used to running pretty close to the front, sees himself in P20 at the moment, and looking up the gearbox of Al Payson's car, and here he goes. He's going to go for a move around the outside. That's going to be a brave one into the chicane.
Zesty made a mistake in the chicane, and Pedro goes past easily as well.
Okay, so Zesty, who qualified pretty well, is tanking down the order. P8 at the moment. If you're just joining us and wondering what on earth's going on here, why are we running an old version of Westhill? Well, you're tuned in for the 11th anniversary of Fragmaster's Fox Friday in LFS 0.6B.
We had a big crash on the back straight as Redbot was the first real victim of the chicane, because he had a big spin. Not a bigger crash than Michael had, and his car looks damaged.
Looks like Pedro's gone. We just missed it. I saw it happening, but Pedro has gone. He has had an issue out of the final corner, and he's out of the race. He's decided to retire, so it must have been a big one. But yeah, we're looking further forward because Isaac is in the slipstream now. He was in the slipstream out of the final corner, but he's just biding his time at this point. And he's going to be putting quite a lot of energy through his tyres, staying this close to Yoni. So you must think that he wants to get into the lead as soon as possible. He's done following, by the looks of this. Well, he's not been able to stay as close there, but anyway, sorry, Zdeniak.
Speaking of tyres, most of the field is running R2 tyres. We are expecting one stop, as noted earlier, and there will be tire change definitely. There will be fuel refueling, and only driver on the softer compound is Randall, who is notoriously known for his tire-saving abilities, and he looks like he wants to make the most of it.
Yeah, we're watching Isaac Price and Yoni Katila scrapping it out 3 seconds ahead of their competition behind. Much better exit that time from Isaac, but it probably still won't be enough to get a move done into turn 1. Let's keep an eye. We don't really know. It's been a long time since we watched racing here. It's difficult to know what's possible as we see Unite and Zago trading places through final corner. Unite is going down the pit wall, using a little bit of the wall to pull himself along. There's a bit of a camber there, Nico. You don't want to drop yourself into that too much. And he has to settle in behind Zago for turn 1. Ayub has managed to make the move stick on Rando through the first couple of corners. He's going to be under threat again if Rando wants this tyre strategy that he's on to work. He doesn't want to spend too long in the slipstream of any cars. Obviously that puts way too much energy through the tyres. You want to spend as little time as possible in the slipstream of another car through a corner.
Yeah, I think he just had a look on Ayub, but his lap times are slower than Ayub, so he will just back off and go on with his race for now.
Gabor and Maunakasa are in a little bit of a bubble. Numbers not really able at this point of the race to claw any closer. Another driver who's struggling a little bit to make ground is Rodolfo. He's kind of in this dirty air of Number where he's been for the last 5 laps, and then you've got Zesty further behind. He's trying to recover. He has made a place after Pedro retired. Magic has just got past Rando into the final corner, but Rando's going to have a heck of a slipstream up the home straight, so Rando has lost 2 places actually on this lap. I wonder what's going on there.
Oh, there's contact between the leaders. Isaac and Yoni Katila had a contact coming after the second split. Both cars held it, but just about. It was really close to a real catastrophe.
So Isaac's clearly not wanting to follow anymore. But yeah, you don't want contact while you're leading the race. They aren't working together on this one. We've seen them working together in the past. They both want blood. They both want each other to fall off the road by the looks of it, so that one or the other can win.
there is a very slight damage on left rear wheel of Unicatila's car, so let's see if this takes it all on him somehow, but it looks like he's managing so far in the critical turns. This was probably caused by the contact at the beginning of this lap.
Yeah, Isaac will not want to be reminded about incidents at turn 1 on Old Westhill.
That is a fact.
Notoriously coming together with Simon Cattell a few years ago. More than a few years ago now. Anyway, here we go. Start finish once again. Lap 14 on the board, and Joni Cattell has a bit of a gap now over Isaac again. But it is hovering around that 4/10th mark, as it has been for pretty much the entire race. Maunakasa in the bright green Fox there in P3, followed by Gabor, who would very much like a podium here. Another man who would definitely love a podium is Number, who put together this event, pretty much, and has been instrumental in organising a lot of stuff with Fragmasters over the last few years. And he's a long-time member of the FM team, way back in the day. So he's doing well in P5. Here's the Dravcoat. Also a frequent member of the Sim Broadcast commentary team as well. But you wouldn't have been able to get him out of the driver's seat for this one, Zdeniak.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was really looking forward to this race, as as you said, it was a very fun combo and very popular combo in the past. In the times, if I remember correctly, when you could change or choose the combo on Fragmaster server, on the public server, I think this was voted in very often.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? As we've got Rando going at it with his teammate, that's Al Payson ahead of him. Al is someone who's been around the Fox Friday series since the beginning.
Ayub had another big lag, but so far his connection holds up, so fingers crossed nothing bad happens to him.
We haven't talked too much about Unite in a while. He didn't have the best qualifying sessions. We've lost a driver.
As we lost Ayub, as I jinxed him totally.
Oh no.
Sorry, Ayub.
Unite is making a move, or he's trying to, at least around the outside here of Zago. Into turn 2, Unite will have the inside. That looked close, but anyway, there we are. He makes the move. That's Teo Christian behind him, though.
Zaga was thinking about, rather Unite was going defensively into turn 3 because he didn't want Zaga to coming back at him, and holds the position. Looks like for now it will be his.
Yeah, we just went on board with Christian there, and you saw the effects of the slipstream. He had 2 cars ahead of him through turn 4, and he was too close and went onto the grass and had to lift. Else he probably could have spun it, so that's not ideal for the progress of the Teo driver there. It's a shame to lose Ayub. We're down to 22 cars. We've lost 3. We've lost Ayub, we've lost Pedro, and who else have we lost?
Michael actually rejoined back because he was allowed to for the fun.
Well, good to see. But still, yeah, 22 cars remain.
And we have another driver off who timed out, and it was a Redbot.
Yeah, Redbot's had some trouble with his connection lately, and being on an older version of LFS maybe didn't help that. Unfortunately lost him as well. But anyway, Rodolfo is still trying to make ground on Zdravko Number in P5, and it's amazing. He's just not able to close that gap. It's been exactly the same for as long as I can remember now.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some kind of unspoken contract between them. Just follow the procession and have a battle at the end, or let's see. We still have 40 laps to go, so it will be a long race for everyone, and hopefully no mistakes will be made, but that's the spice of racing, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just sure that basically everybody here is just out to enjoy themselves, and the result is a bonus if you can finish higher up. I'm sure everybody is enjoying this, and why not? It's nice to be able to host a race here on an older version, still working even in 2021, as we watch Yoni Katila for World Class Lions driving around the final corner, just ahead of Isaac Price, who still has to settle for P2. He had a go for the lead, didn't quite work out, didn't quite catch it on stream, but there was contact between the two, resulting in some left rear damage on Yoni's car, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too badly at this point, Zdeněk.
Yeah, it looks like the damage didn't really affect him. As I saw, or we have Zago battling with Unite again, so Unite's losing the position for now. Zago had a nice slipstream coming from the final turn, took the position into the turn 1. Unite following closely, but really has to take it easy to not make any mistake.
Yeah, we've been spoiled in recent times with the update to the amount of packets that the servers can send, so jumping back into an older version of LFS, it is remarkable how different it is to watch, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think even the spectators can see the difference as the car changed the position visibly a few times a second. But still, I believe the server should be set on 6 packets per second, which is the maximum a game allowed back then, and it doesn't really spoil the experience for anyone, I hope. Zago and Unite catching Ohnifus slowly, while Magic is battling with Rando still. He almost got past, or even got past him once, but they are still trading positions. Rando's tires looking still hot, while Magic, using the harder compound, goes down the inside of the final turn and forces his way through. Let's see how Rando responds. He has the slipstream easily, so follows Magic down the finish straight, goes to the outside, and this should be quite easy for him into turn 2 because he's slightly ahead. They give each other lots of space because the track allows it, and there's lots of respect between these two. Rando takes the inside into turn 2 and takes the position back for now. Has to go defensively, but Magic thinks better of it.
He's still got a nose there. He wasn't ready to give that one up, was he? But there we are. Move finally made.
Yeah. It's not that unusual to see cars going side by side or follow each other for multiple turns in here, although it's very risky.
Yeah, Rodolfo is, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, why not? He's within striking distance of Number. Let's see what he can do. He needs to get a great exit out of the final corner. Number's gone a bit wider than him. Rodolfo with a bit of a slide. I think he's going to be safe. We've said it so many times, but Zago is having another go at Unite. Unite trying to go around the outside of turn number, well, the final corner, out onto the rumble strip for him. But Zago with a very tight line comes into... Nope, he's not coming in the pits. He's just using the very tight line. Always throws me off that one.
Yeah, maybe thought Unite will be in the slipstream, but they are side by side coming into the turn 1. Unite slightly ahead. Let's see who wins this battle. They are side by side coming through the turn 2. Unite uses the whole width of the track and takes the 11th position back again. Meanwhile, Christian is coming to this duo as Finucane pits, and this trio is now in another massive draft battle. Zago loses out because he lost downforce a little bit, which allows Unite to go away from them.
Yeah, I'm remembering back to a couple of laps ago when Christian went wide at turn 4 and had to back off. He lost sight of these two, so he's done well to catch back up. He's clearly got the pace, but he's lacking... What he's lacking is the knowledge of where to pass, it seems. He doesn't know where to get past these guys. He's got the pace, but he can't find the right time to get past. And we've got a battle further up. Number has lost the place to Rodolfo. We didn't see it. Number is going to want that back as soon as possible, but yeah, he must have had a pretty bad exit from the chicane to let Rodolfo catch back up to him. So here we go, onto the home straight. Number has to defend this place. Not too hard, or else they're going to get caught by Zesty. So they need to think about the long game. Side by side across start finish, nothing between them. Around the outside, Number's going to have to try it. Rodolfo is an expert in the Fox, an absolute expert. And so is Number, so it's great to see them going at it together. Number gets the place back temporarily. Let's see, can Rodolfo get it back off of him?
These battles are costing him a lot of time because Number's last lap time was more than 1 second slower than the leaders, who are right now in 33.6s and not slowing down.
Yeah, these guys, if they battle for too long, too much swapping, they will force themselves into an early pit stop, and they don't want that, especially when they are so high up. The drivers behind are in free air, and they won't be putting too much, well, hopefully won't be putting as much energy through their tyres. Rodolfo has not had a great start to this lap. Zdeněk, he's quite a way back now.
Yeah, the battle cost him a bit of or forced a little bit of gap between him and Number. Number will probably hold it for now, and we will see if he manages to go away, manage this gap somehow, keep it the same, or if there will be another battle.
Further back at the kind of tail end of the field now, we've got Magic and Rando going at it. These two are having an absolute ball. Rando will want to get past Magic as soon as possible, and well, he's been trying it for a while. Let's see, Magic's got past him. Can Rando get back? I do like deliveries on show in this race, I have to say.
Yeah, these guys are really enjoying this battle. I'm still waiting for Rando's setup to come online and possibly gaining some time and places along the way, but the tires are still hot, the lap times are still slow, so I don't think this race will turn out so well for him. Doesn't look like it. We are 7 laps from the halfway point, and we have change in the lead finally. At last, Isaac Price passes Joni Katila into the complex after second split.
We did say we were going to have some issues, or we thought we might have some issues. There we go. We're back. Yeah, we're using old software here for this race, and yeah, there we are. We're back. Sorry about that. Yes, there was a change for the lead, and what a time for it to happen. Isaac Price pulls into the lead ahead of Joni Katila, Zdeněk.
Yeah, it was about time because he was driving faster laps consistently, although just by a few hundredths of a second. But now he has almost half a second gap.
Zago is the first car that we know of that has come into the pit lane. There he goes, the number 18, dropping down the order a little bit, but he's got some serious pace, and that might be the reason that he's just not put enough fuel in, and his pace to be able to battle with Unite for so long. Anyway, he's going to rejoin right at the back, possibly behind. Oh no, there we go. He's going to come out in some clean air, so that's just what he needs at this point in the race. But yeah, sorry, we missed it. We missed the pass for the lead. Isaac managed to get the job done, and Joni will be, well, he'll want that back for sure.
Yeah, Joni ain't giving up. The gap has closed down by almost 2 tenths of a second, so there will be more to come. Speaking of the strategy, I think Zago did the right thing because his tires were still in a good shape after 21 laps. So by the time the end of the race, he should be still lapping fast. He should have still plenty of fuel to finish the race. So I think he will just lap in the clean air, which he has plenty of right now. And it will be interesting to see where he comes in the end. Botsy noting in the chat we should have interrupted with Stroll in Monaco. As everybody knows, Stroll had a nice entry into the broadcast as there was another battle at the pit exit going on. So-called Rick Stroll as of now.
Well, we hoped we wouldn't have to show the technical difficulties screen throughout the broadcast, but there we are. At least we had one prepared. Yoni is really, well, yeah, he's really pushing, and no wonder. These guys have got a massive gap over Mauna Kassa of nearly 4 seconds, so they can afford to have a little bit of fun. But yeah, if they put too much energy through these tyres, Mauna Kassa might have something to say about that as we approach the end of the race.
Honestly, I was thinking that this race could have been run on the version 0.5Q, which is I think one of the first S2 versions, as this version was really much harder on tires and fuel consumption. The cars would have to pit much sooner for fuel, and the tires would be destroyed much faster. But Fragmaster went a safer and more fun way, I guess.
Yeah, I think any earlier versions, and we would have struggled to put this on a broadcast for you. So thank you for not running it on an even older version.
Yeah,
this is old enough. Quite thank you. Yeah, and also, as noted in our ear by Chris McElroy, that would have predated Fragmaster's Fox Friday.
Oh, that's a fun fact I didn't know, because I've been around since 2005, but I guess I didn't pay attention to Fox that much. It's not my favorite car, but it's fun to watch the cars and drivers racing it on this track.
Yeah, Onivus here trying to get past Unite, and yeah, Unite is now in the top 10. He's been struggling to get up the order, but finally he's made it. Well, made it into the top 10. Let's see how far through he can get. He's already got quite a gap over Onifus. I just love how that Sidus livery looks on this version of Live for Speed. So much more metallic.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's good for this special opportunity. Lots of stars on the skin, probably showing off their titles and wins.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Mercedes with their win stars on their front wing.
If you've got them, why not show them, you know? So I don't blame them at all for doing that. That's a good idea. Round the final corner he comes.
Looks like United finally found his space, because his splits are coming closer to the qualifying times. Let's see what his lap time is now. It's his fastest lap, 33.92.
Yeah, so as the fuel comes out and the tyres get into their optimum window, we'll see faster and faster lap times. And the faster that drivers find that optimum pace, it's often an indication that they're about to come into the pits for a stop. Zago's already been in, he's made his stop, and you can see that the pace at the front is so even. While Isaac was following Yoni around, the gap was hovering around the 4/10 mark, but now look, Yoni is able to keep that gap the same as well, while Isaac leads the race. They've both led some of the race now. This is the first time, though, that Isaac's been in the lead. Couldn't get pole in qualifying. Yoni took home that honour. And, yeah, we're down to 20 drivers, though. We've lost Yarra Loco.
The field is a bit stretched now, so... Yeah, we have Rodolfo catching number again, as we said a few laps ago. Number having problems keeping Rodolfo at a distance. Rodolfo going into the slipstream as Isaac drives the fastest lap of the race, 33.36. Rodolfo bumps number a little bit, which cost him this opportunity to draft past him, and probably will have to be satisfied with. No, he still goes down the inside and forces number to go the longer line around, but number keeps the position.
Yeah, it's not often you see that sort of move happening. I thought Rodolfo had that one sealed, but yeah, giving Number a little bit more room maybe than he needed to, and they're back to where they were all those laps ago. So there we go. We've got Platano and Al Payson going at it. The two FM teammates absolutely neck and neck. Al Payson currently P14 ahead of his teammate as they head into turn 3. Al Payson apparently just overtook Platano. Sorry about that. So yeah, he's up a place. Platano has to pick up the pieces. Can he get past anywhere else on the lap? It doesn't look like it. Looks like Al has dropped him already. Christian has been looking to try and get involved with some action. Zago got out of the way, and that means that Onifus is his next prey. And he makes that look quite easy, doesn't he?
Yeah, Onifus does crisp and keeps his fighting spirit up.
Oof. Okay, side-to-side contact on the straight. I've not seen much of that. We've got Number who's crashed at the final corner. What on earth has happened there? He's going to have to come in the pits, surely.
Yeah, that's a heavy damage to his left side. I think he caught the grass and spun into the barrier, which caused this damage. It's already under repair, but this will cost him a lot of time.
That is unlucky.
Very unfortunate.
That is unlucky. That does promote Zesty. It also promotes Rodolfo. Rodolfo, yeah. Oof, I don't know. Would have been nice to see what happened there, but there we go. Such is the way.
Yeah, still already, not already, just leaving the pits. Still ahead of Zago, so it's still on for top 10 for him, but it's a big shame because we had nice battles with him and Rodolfo throughout the whole race.
Yeah, pitting that early is not ideal. That would have absolutely just destroyed his strategy, and obviously having a damaged car pretty much destroys any chance of a podium, and that would certainly have been on his radar. He has the pace for it, certainly. But here we go. This is the battle for the lead. Isaac Price still leading Yoni Katila over around about half a second. But look at that gap now to P3 Zdeniak. It's nearly 5.5 seconds.
Yeah, Maunokas are not really with this in the same league as the top two. He's just cruising ahead of Gabor, who is on par with his pace, but the gap is 2 seconds, so we don't expect any battle anytime soon. Rodolfo losing further 6 seconds to Gabor, then it's Zesty, Donny. TJ is quite close to Donny, but not in the striking distance so far. Just looking for opportunities and waiting for his chance.
Yeah, Rodolfo's been gifted a little bit of a breathing space, but he can't hold along for too long because Zesty, the absolute madman that he is catching him at quite a rate of knots. Zesty is more used to the FBM, I think it's safe to say, but he's certainly turned his hand well to the FOX in the LFS 0.6B version. Doing really well in P6.
Yeah, I wouldn't disqualify him from this battle because, as you said, he's good with single-seaters, especially with the slower ones. As we know, MRC organizing the FBM Saturdays, and he tends to be on top quite often in there.
Another driver who's not too, well, no stranger to being at the top of the table is TJ. He's in P8, currently catching Iron Donny. Iron Donny is having what I would call the standout driver of the race, actually. He's no slouch, but he's in P7, which is really nice. That's a great result for him if he can keep it, but it does look like it might be under threat from TJ, the road appraiser, well, the Brazilian driver here, driving the old McLaren livery, F1 livery, out onto the home straight. He has a slipstream. Let's see how this goes.
Or does he? I don't think he has. It's or he has, but
it's very distant. Yeah, for sure.
He's too far. Yeah.
He's right where he needs to be for a move at some point, though.
Yeah, I agree with you on Donny. He's usually the strong upper midfield, so he's definitely beating everyone's expectation, maybe even his. So fingers crossed, and let's not jinx him. Hopefully he goes on to finish this race as high up as he is.
Hopefully,
As
yeah.
we have Payson in the pit lane, hitting for tires and fuel, so probably his planned stop. We will probably see more of it. I was trying to figure out what the usual pit strategy will be. As I said, it's definitely one stop, but when? That's kind of mystery to me. Drivers shared an information with me that they are running different wings. Some are running 4 degrees in the front and 5 in the back. Some are running 5 and 6. So there's also some variety in this. I think Number was the one who was running the higher wing, which might be the cause of his constant battles with Rudolfa earlier on, because Rudolfa might have been slightly faster on the straights.
In the meantime, Al Payson came into the pit lane, like you mentioned, but he rejoined just behind Zago, which is around about where Number is. So that is indicative that Zago has not had a fantastic second stint. Obviously, putting in all the fuel so early is not ideal. As we've got another driver in the pits, I think.
Yeah, it's a Panteo, another driver for his planned pit stop. The time of the pit stop was standard length, so no repairs, and he's off to another stint.
Yep, the gap at the front is as close as ever. It's around about half a second. Nothing really has changed there between the two leaders. Bryce leading Yannick Dunner.
Yeah, I think the longer run will be better because as we see, and as you said, Zago is running slower on his heavy car and new tires, as the drivers who are still staying out will run faster and faster laps. So I think within 5 to 10 laps we will see even the leaders and everyone else pitting. They are still not running out of the tires, but the fuel level will be considerably worse.
Yeah, it won't have been helped by the them basically swapping, well, being very close in each other's slipstream for so long. It definitely puts a lot of energy through the tyres, but yeah, they're coming up to the point in the race where we'd expect them to be going into the pit lane. Not just yet though, there's plenty of racing left before that. Maunakasa, he's been in a bubble all race. Do not discount Maunakasa from winning this. He maybe had to go slightly longer than the guys ahead. We don't know, of course, but he's been in a very, very nice bubble this entire time.
Yeah, I'm just checking on Rando and to see how his tires are doing, and the temperatures are going lower, and the tires are looking good so far. So maybe he will finish the race on this set, which he started on, and this might promote him a few positions, more specifically too, as he's close behind the Magic and Platano. The time saved in the pits should be around few seconds maybe, so that should help him definitely. Drivers were saying before the race, Magic has a problem. Magic,
he's in the wall.
Yeah, he had a problem in the chicane, and as I spoke about Rando gaining position on Magic goes off. So here's that.
It's an uncharacteristic error. That is uncharacteristic. And it wasn't even into the tyre wall. It was before where he lost the car. So
yeah, it was slide. It was just probably too much throttle or something.
Yeah, maybe the tyres are just dropping off. We're going to see Magic in the pits, and that's going to be a shame for his race. It'll be good for the likes of Zago and Number, who've also pitted early in this race. They'll probably be promoted thanks to that, but still, a shame to see such an experienced driver going in the wall like that. And anyway, not the end of his afternoon. He'll be able to get that car back out in the race and hopefully finish.
Yeah, as I was saying, drivers said before the race that there's a difference in this version of LFS, that apparently the tires and fuel are changed and replenished at the same time. Is that correct?
Now you're testing me. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I thought that it was still. I thought it was still synchronous. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought usually the tire change takes 3 seconds per tire, but
no, I think it's still. I think it's still one after the other. I don't think that's ever been the case. Possible in the FOX that the front and rear are done at the the fronts are done at the same time, and the rears are done at the same time, rather than individually as in the road cars. The gap at the front has gone up to a second. It's about the most exciting thing we've been able to say about the lead battle for a while. It's definitely going up as we've got Onifus and Christian going at it.
Yeah, Isaac really running away with it.
Zesty has gone into pit lane. He was really catching up to the back of Rodolfo, and this might be why he's gone for a little bit of a more aggressive strategy, going for less fuel at the start, obviously. But anyway, that will be his planned stop, just over the halfway mark as he heads back out onto the track up to turn 1. He is going to rejoin in front of Platano, but importantly, he's going to be ahead of, very much importantly, he's going to be ahead of Number and Zago. Mauna Casa is around 9 seconds off the lead now. That gap has been steadily going up, so the lead pair are on absolute level terms, but the gap to the rest of the field is absolutely enormous. So I'm really interested to see what the strategies of the guys lower down actually is in this race. Mauna Casa, if anything, is being caught a little bit by Gabor. They weren't too far apart, but the gap's certainly come down, Zdeněk.
Yeah, last time we checked it was almost full 2 seconds. We will see at the start-finish line how it is now. As Mauna Casa crosses it now, and Gabor right now, and it's gone down by 0.6 of a second. And Gabor drives his fastest lap, which is all more than 2/10 faster than Mauna Casa's. As Donny pits, and Rando fights with Platano. This is a team battle. Rando probably using his R1 tires, which are cooling down, to a better use. His fastest lap has gone down, and Platano pits. So Rando is on his own now.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried there. I thought it was Rando who'd gone into pit lane, and I was thinking, no, there's no way Rando's gone into pits this early. He'll try and eke as much life out of those tyres as he can. So he carries on. He's in P12. Platano will probably drop behind this man, Pantheo, as he flies across the start-finish to move into P13. Number gets out ahead of Platano as well. Platano's only just left the pit lane. Zago as well. Will Platano stay ahead of his teammate Al Payson? I think so. I think Al's just a little bit too far back to make any sort of move. Or is he? He might catch through the gap. Oh, there we go. He has. He's managed to get past between turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was quite easy for him. As I'm seeing in the chat, we have area or some sort of server-side software running. And the guys who stopped like 5 to 10 laps earlier than guys stopping now, their pit stop was about 1 second longer. So guys stopping later, saving a considerable amount of time, which might prove very, very important later on.
Rodolfo has gone in the pit lane, so he did go into the pit lane slightly later than Zesty. So let's see, he comes out quite a way ahead though, I believe. Yeah, there you go, Zesty just coming across start-finish. Wow, that's massive.
Rodolfo's stop was only 4 seconds. He didn't change his tires.
So,
that's the difference.
He's trying to go to the end on the same set of tires, or is that a mistake?
Well, it will be interesting because the tires are quite cold. So let's see if he can manage it.
That is a strange strategy call. That is a rando level strategy Rodolfo has gone for there. Little bit surprised. Anyway, speaking of Rando, here's Rando fighting with Iron's Donny. We'll have to wait and see if Rodolfo can make that last till the end. I will be very surprised if he manages to get to the end. But maybe he knows something I don't. There we go. Brilliant camera shot that as they go through, pop over the curbs onto the through the top chicane. We're riding on board with Iron Donny P11, trying to stay ahead of Rando. A little bit of a fight on here between Onifus and Christian as well, as Isaac sets another fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, there was massive text all over my screen. It was 33.1. It's faster than the pole position time, faster than the qualifying practice time.
Onifus and Unite have come into the pit lane, one ahead of the other. They both find their pit stops, and will it be a short stop for Onifus? No, it won't. Oh no, it is. He's only done fuel as well. So is Unite. So maybe we have been foiled into thinking that a tyre change was necessary, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe these drivers think they can do it on one. That's pretty incredible.
21 laps to go. Zesty goes past Unite with 21 laps to go. The tyre's still looking quite good to complete the whole race. So yeah, I think this will be the better way, unless the tires are really cold.
Yeah, so they might go very cold and then they might fall off, or they might go bang if they've got slight flat spots or whatever. But anyway, there's only one way to find out, and that's to let the clock tick on. Isaac Price is leading by 1 second over Yoni Katilla. Then we've got Mauna Casa in P3 with a 10-second gap now behind.
Zesty hits the tires. Sorry, Zesty hits the tires in the chicane, and Unite goes straight past him.
Behind them it's Rando and Indoni as well, still going at it. Rando has not yet pitted. Pretty much everybody around him has, and we now have a four-car battle in the middle here.
Something we haven't had since the first 20 laps or 15 laps, so let's go.
There's been pretty close battles all throughout the race, but yeah, the big groups that we had at the beginning kind of dissipated. We did have that one large train of Teo and FM drivers at one point, as Unite has to get out of the throttle quite late out of the final corner.
Yes, we have Michael spinning in the final corner.
Yeah, oh no. Michael already quite a number of laps down after rejoining the race. But Rando has a run. He's got a run on Zesty. And that's Unite up ahead. Let's see. Yeah, Rando ahead into turn 1.
Yeah, Iron Donny drops off a little bit. He's on the new tires.
So yeah, Rando's managed to draw up to the back of Unite, of course, because Rando's got no fuel in his car pretty much at this point of the race, so he's going to be on absolute fumes going on in there. So Unite's going to get past pretty easily, I'd expect, by Rando. Unite will have put the extra fuel he requires for the end of the race in, which means he'll be heavier, and Rando should be able to draw up behind him. Yeah, Unite's going defensive, but that is futile, you have to say.
Yeah. He has the slipstream and he takes full use of it, goes down the inside, and with the use of the softer compound he should have no problem with the turn exit, although there's a little bit of sliding from both of the guys. Rando takes the position and Unite has to settle for a ninth position right now.
Yeah, he'll get that place back when Rando pits, no doubt, but how late will Rando leave it? How much time can he gain by just having a more aggressive strategy at this point of the race? He's clearly got the pace, probably around about a second a lap at this point over these guys because of the fuel difference and the nicer tyres. He doesn't come into pit lane again. We're not surprised, are we?
Not really. I'm watching his tyres and the tyres of the guys behind him who already pitted, and they are on the same level of tread, so I think Rando should be good to go as the others, so he will pit only for fuel, I guess, and probably come out around 11th position.
Yeah, Gabor is still in P4. Mauna Casa and P4 haven't changed places all race. Mauna Casa and Gabor, sorry. Then we've got TJ in P5 on your cameras right now, and then behind them it's the Teo pair of Christian and Rodolfo.
Oh, you have leaders in the pits, both leaders in the pits.
Okay, so they've come in at the same time. They've chosen boxes one step apart from each other. That's a bit tricky. There you go. And as wow. So yeah, Yoni absolutely, he was a little bit close, you have to say.
Yoni didn't change the tires, but Isaac did, so this is another game changer for the rest of the race. There will be massive gap between those two. It's already 5.5 seconds. Gabor, no tires, only 3.6 seconds. Mauro Casa, 10 seconds with tires and fuel. TJ only fuel, 3.5 seconds pit stop. Christian is the next in. Long pit stop for him.
Yeah, it seems whenever Yoni or Isaac do anything interesting, we have a bit of an issue here. But there we are, we're back again, and we have some interesting stuff happening on the track because Christian's just been down the pit lane, and yeah, all sorts going on. So Yoni, with a very short pit stop, is in the lead by a whopping 5 seconds. Isaac didn't think his tyres could go to the end. That's basically the summary.
Yeah, but will he make it? I think Yoni has tires in a good shape, so it will be difficult for Isaac to make any use of his new tires.
Yep, that is a weird call. Maybe I don't know. I imagine he's done a race simulation. You'd expect for a race of this kind of importance that he would have done a race simulation, but maybe Yoni just decided that he thinks his tyres are going to be good enough, even if they get really cold at the end. Let's wait and see. There is the gap. It's not very big. It's only 5 seconds. They both could have changed tyres. Maybe they just psyched each other out. I don't know. Maybe Isaac thought, oh, if Yoni gets tyres, maybe I should get them as well. So Isaac's playing it safe. Yoni is being pretty aggressive.
Yeah, at the same time I should note Gabor, thanks to his much faster stop, got third place from Mauro Casa, who is now lapping some 5 seconds behind him.
Rando's finally come into pit lane, and he's repairing damage, so that's got to be a mistake. I don't know why he would be doing that. He didn't have enough damage on that car, surely. That's an error. We've lost Platano somewhere in the race. Do we know what happened to Platano?
No, I didn't even notice he was gone. It must have been a while.
Well, anyway, Rando will be kicking himself. Surely he'll be kicking himself over that one. That cannot have been planned. I don't see how. His pace was fine. He was making moves. He must have left damage repair on by accident. So there we are. It happens to the best.
But I think he changed tires, so I think, or I saw that his left front was flat spotted, so maybe he wouldn't make it to the end after all. So he probably plays it safe and hopes for the best.
Rando has changed to R2s, we're hearing, so there we are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway, Yoni Catilla is opening that gap up. Not surprising, he's on better tyres at this point in the race. Isaacs is still kind of getting up to temperature after he changed them. The gap 6.1 seconds. Gabor is a further 7 seconds behind, and he's managed to jump Mauna Casa. Has Gabor been in the pit lane yet? No, he hasn't. That's how that's happened, I think. Or am I wrong?
I think he pitted. I think
everybody's pitted, so Mauna Casa and Gabor have swapped positions because of longer stops again.
Yeah, he was more than 6 seconds faster than Mauna Casa on his pit stop.
Interesting. So Gabor didn't change tyres. Mauna Casa has, so it's like the same as what has happened up front. Yoni didn't change, neither did Gabor. Isaac did change, and so did Mauna Casa. So that's why they switched positions. So yeah, both of the top guys and both of the guys behind have decided to do pretty much the same thing, and we'll be able to see how it works out for Isaac and Mauna Casa on their safer strategy.
Yeah, meanwhile we still have the 4 guys Unite, Iron, Donny, Onifus and Zesty, like on Yo-Yo, coming closer together and stretching the gaps again as they lose downforce and they gain on each other throughout this battle for 7th to 10th position.
Yeah, I'd like to mention that we've seen a lot of battles between Yoni and other drivers and Isaac and other drivers where it's ended up with both of them having punctures on the final corner of the race. Luckily, on those occasions, they were able to hold the position that they had and go on to win the race. But today, Isaac Price will not have such an issue because he has changed his tyres. So is that something that Yoni will be thinking about now? Oh no, Isaac's changed. What am I going to do? If these tyres go, it's going to be a bit embarrassing. So let's see what happens to Yoni as Number makes up a place on Christian. I'm seeing. I'm not sure how that's happened, but there we are. Is Christian out of fuel? What's going on there? He's going very slowly.
Yeah, it's weird.
He's very slow at the moment.
Well, he has full throttle, so maybe he was just sorting some real-life issue, I guess, because the car looks fine. Oh no, doesn't look fine. There's big damage on his right side.
Oh, okay, so he must have been off at the final corner or somewhere else because he's dropping like a stone down the order at this point. That is a shame.
I think he will have to pit with this because his right front tire will suffer really heavily.
Pantheo ahead of him just clipped the tyre as he went through, and the gap at the front is going up and up and up. So Yoni is not lifting off, he's not yielding, he thinks these tyres are going to make it. And yeah, Isaac will be thinking, have I made the right decision here? He must think he has. He wouldn't have changed his tyres if he didn't think it was the right thing to do, unless he thought that JSRK Yoni Katsuda was going to do it. Onifus has a run onto Donny at the first corner, or will be at the first corner. He moves to the inside. This should be an easy overtake. Donny will try and hold it around the outside, and it just has to keep a nose in there if he wants to get past into turn 2, and he doesn't.
No, I think he knows what to expect, and he knows he's already doing very well. So he will just probably... I forgot the English word. He will settle for 9th position. With Yoni Katila and Isaac Price, and as I know, I wouldn't be surprised they might be in the same channel having some fun without us knowing.
Maybe, but each of them have gone into a different strategy, so I wonder whether that's the case. Interestingly, as I look at the intervals, the gap between Isaac and Yoni is exactly the same, pretty much, as the gap between Gabor and Maunakasa, so it is pretty much exactly the same when with their alternate strategies.
We are entering the final phase of the race with 13 laps to go, or 12 and a half for the leader. Field is it took some laps, 44 laps for the field to stretch. We have no battles currently going on, although Donny is still close behind Onifus.
Yeah, we've got into the tactical part of the race where everybody's trying to psych each other out. It's clearly the case in the top 4. Those guys just don't know what strategy is going to work best. There's comments in the chat saying that Isaac might have flat spotted and Yoni might not have flat spotted. That is a very valid point because obviously Live for Speed, even way back in 0.6b, has simulated flat spots on the tyres, and if you keep flat spotting the same contact patch of the tyre, eventually it will go bang, and it's very difficult to spot if you've got one, unless it's very severe, in which case you even see your view jumping up and down. That's just one of the great things about Live for Speed.
That's a good point, because there are, as I said, there are 2 braking places, braking spots on this track with this car, and both of them are heavy on the left front tires as the track is falling down into the left-handers. and the left front tire might get blocked easily. So depends on the brake settings, depends on the whole suspension setting, and if Isaac is running a different setup than Yoni or is less careful, it might be the result of this.
Yeah, eagle-eyed Vitalis Lagutskaz in the pits said that Yoni locked up both of his fronts going into the pits. Yoni hasn't changed his tyres.
Oh, that's another interesting factor to take account into the final 11 laps. The gap between Yoni and Isaac is exactly the same as we checked 1.5 laps ago, or 2 laps ago.
Yeah, it's impressive pace from Isaac on new tyres. Obviously, Yoni must be struggling with older tyres now. Probably getting pretty cold out there.
They are.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of laps to do. He's got 12 laps to go, 11 at the line. Yeah, in fact now, yes, 11 to go. It's a long way on old tyres.
Yeah, what is actually the distance of this race? I think that this circuit has 5.6 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken, so it will be around 300 kilometers. That's something Pirelli should learn from.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens here. This is going to be fascinating as we've got Unite in the wall at the final corner. What's he done there? He's already been in the pits once. As we've got Michael Mallet going in the pits again. What's Michael doing? Looked like a pretty fast pit entry. But anyway, Unite's been off. That's not going to go down very well. That one.
Unite has damage on the right side.
Yeah, he was hard into the wall. Hard.
Definitely contact with the wall.
Yeah, look at that rear wing. That's absolutely ruined. And you can also see that the rear of that. That's my mistake. The rear of that tyre has been pushed into the bodywork there. So, yep, certainly not going the way of Unite.
He did very well from the start, where he started 17th.
We've got Christian in the wall. Sorry, Christian's also been in the wall at the final corner. So several drivers struggling at this stage of the race with the final corner, which, I mean, they've done it 46 times. It hasn't changed.
Christian did a few laps with his damage from previous incident, but this time it's finally decided by the team. He takes this pit stop for repairs.
Yeah, lots of drivers who haven't changed tyres in their pit stop struggling now with those colder tyres. And yeah, this is going to start to worry the likes of Yoni Katila and Sidus Gabor, because, yep, they are on cold tyres as well. The two guys that they're battling with, they aren't, so they'll be perfectly happy just to drive around the track. And it looks like Christian's in for a long stop. Yeah, it was a very, very long stop repairing that damage. He's dropped down to 18th place.
Yeah, it was over 30 seconds, which is basically
a week.
The maximum, almost the maximum you can get in Fox, I think.
Yeah, he didn't even put any fuel or any tyres on. It's the longest pit stop of the race for Christian, and that's the result. You end up at the back of the field. Number is still trying to get into the top 10, and even though, well, Unite's be suffering.
Yeah, I was gonna praise Unite because he started 17th and got up to 7th as we expect him to climb the field, but unfortunately that mistake cost him better placement. Let's see if he can manage the damage in the last 9.5 laps for him, and perhaps close the gap to the guys ahead who are very close together, and maybe it will cost him, maybe if they battle it will cost them a little bit of time. It's over 4 seconds from Unite to Zesty as of now.
Yeah, but crucially, Zesty doesn't have any damage at this point. So he'll be quite happily pulling a gap over Unite. He won't have to worry. In fact, well, Zesty needs to focus ahead on... he needs to focus ahead on Donny.
Oh, Magic spun in turn 5. He must have caught the infamous grass in turn 4. He has a heavy suspension damage. There's some light damage on the right front. The car doesn't look very healthy, but
Yeah.
I think it will finish the race as it is.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen Magic off, which is just unfortunate. First time was just out of the chicane a few laps ago, and now again at turn 4. He's looking like a pretty battered fox there. I wonder if Michael will just bring that car to the end. He's in P16, he's got Fin UK bearing down on him. And yeah, he just has to weigh it up. Is it worth finishing the race like that? Here comes Yanni across the line. And then just behind him will be a yellow car of Isaac Price, some 6.4 seconds behind. There he goes, up to turn number 1.
Now up to 6.6 seconds, Johnny, on much colder tires, but as we know, the more worn the tires are, the better grip they have. So
yeah, one thing I hadn't considered is how fast can Gabor go on these old tires, because the gap was coming down, but it's now going up again to Isaac. So at one point I thought, oh, you know, Gabor with this aggressive strategy, would he be able to catch Isaac? But at the moment the gap is still hovering around 7 seconds there, so potentially not actually. Gabor's just struggling with those cold tires.
I think even with the Gabor's, he doesn't have the raw pace Isaac has, so it was just good theory for a while, but I think his third place is today's maximum.
Yeah,
and we lost Rando. Rando timed out.
What on earth have we just seen there? We've seen the back marker getting in the way of Mauna Casa, and Mauna Casa's car is ruined. Who was that? Was it Magic? I can't even... It was Magic. Magic got in the way of Mauna Casa. Just as I was about to comment to say that Mauna Casa's time to Gabor had gone up to nearly 10 seconds, Magic's managed to get into a tangle with Mauna Casa, and that's a disaster. That's his race gone. Because look at the damage, he's crabbing. Ah, that's such a shame.
On the left is always retired.
Aye.
Magic, I didn't think I would say this, but I didn't expect this behavior from him. Maybe he didn't see him, but what happened there?
It's a terrible place to meet another car, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, that's just tragic. Mauna Casa, long-time fan and long-time supporter of the Fragmasters team, has been involved in Fox Fridays for a number of years. Super quick driver, held on to third place for a long time. Got overtaken by Gabor in the pit stop when Gabor didn't change his tyres and now has to retire. Only 7 laps from the end. That's an unfortunate incident, and that does promote TJ and everybody else up a position.
So that's two retirements in very fast succession.
It's just unlucky to meet a damaged car like that, you have to say. Anyway, let's focus on what we've still got left. 17 cars, currently being led by world-class Lions Yoni Katilla. You're watching Fragmaster's Fox Friday, which this year actually appears on a Friday. Last year, for the 10th anniversary, we streamed it on a Saturday. So it's nice to actually be here on a Friday for round 22 of the 2021 Championship, the 11th anniversary of the Fox Friday series by Fragmasters. And what a race it's been so far, Zdeněk, on this LFS 0.6B version of Westhill.
Oh, definitely. I hope our spectators watching this stream live or on demand later on enjoyed it as we did, because there was plenty of action. I see we had quite a good audience today, so we thank you for tuning in and watching this race with us.
Yeah, it's probably due to the fact that this version of LFS only allows 32 cars on the grid, so everybody else had to wait outside the server and decided to watch through the small window that we provide here. Rodolphe has had a good race. Everybody around him seems to have dropped off the track. He's currently in P5. He's chasing down TJ. There's only 3 seconds between them, so it is possible that in the dying stages of this race, this gap might come down and Rodolphe might find himself in P4. I don't think TJ has any chance of knocking on the door of the podium unless Gabor or Yoni have a problem with that strategy that they went on to at the pit stop.
Michael spins again ahead of Yone, but rejoins safely. Nobody got harmed.
Yeah, luckily we don't want to see any more of the leaders taken out in unfortunate incidents. Thank you very much. But yeah, Yoni is about to make that gap to the lead in the lead. 7 seconds at some point, no doubt. As it comes up to the final corner, he'll have to navigate Michael Malik as well at some point, but that should be no problem whatsoever. Here comes Donny. He's going to try and lap Magic as well. Magic hopefully gets out of the way at some point. These guys are in pretty heated battles. That didn't look like he was getting out the way, did it, really?
Yeah, Magic doesn't look too eager to let the guys pass. It's like
there we go.
He's turned into Mazepin mode or something.
Yeah, because now look, Donny has got Zesty right behind him, so yeah, he won't be sending Magic a Christmas card this year. As they head out onto the home straight, Zesty will have a massive tow, and this is going to be a fight for P7. Both of them will be pretty happy to be mixing it among the best Fox drivers in the sim as we head up to turn 1, and it looks like Zesty will be having to run it around the long way and have the move done for turn 2. Donny won't have a response to that on this lap unless he can find a way past, as Zesty's just done.
He still has a draft, so he's using it, but there is no place to pass right now. Maybe he will wait for the back straight if he manages to gap well, but there's a big drop off in turn 4, and that's probably his fight done for now.
Yeah, Donny was a bit close, wasn't he, as he went through turn 3. That is what happens. Sorry, turn 4, and that's what happens. The gap at the lead is almost 7 seconds, not quite, but we do have a lot of a lot of laps to go. We've still got 4 laps to go. Anything can happen. How are the tyres doing on the first and third place drivers, Zdeniak?
Well, it looks like they will finish. Gabor was saying in chat a while ago that his tire will pop in sector 2 chicane, 10,000% sure, but doesn't look like it. It looks from the spectator point of view a little bit different than when you are looking at it live on your own car, own screen when you drive.
Yeah, we're hearing from Chris McElroy in our ear that Sidus Unite's tyres are the thinnest. The Sidus driver's been in the wall a couple of times this race, and he's had a couple of trips down the pit lane, or one trip down the pit lane. He hasn't actually repaired that damage, interestingly, that he picked up in the previous incident. You can still see it plaguing the left side of his car there. Sorry, the right side of his car. There we go. And yeah, he's just having to nurse that damage to the end just to stay inside the top 10. So fingers crossed, no more incidents for him.
Yeah, his right front tire is warmer on the outside now than on the inside, so it's probably wearing down more on the outside, and maybe it will last because of the damage, actually.
Yoni comes across the line to make it 3 to go here in the FM Fox Fridays 11th anniversary event at Old Westhill. Been quite a show. I've really enjoyed watching the drivers go around this old track. We had an absolutely amazing first lap, properly clean, amazing battles all race long. A few unfortunate incidents and a bit of a drop off in the drivers staying on the road, but one driver who's managed to stay in the lead somehow is Yoni Katila for now. He has 3 laps to go. He's got very thin tyres, very cold tyres, but it should be okay unless he's got some flat spots on them. Here he goes through the flat-out chicane. You do not want your tyre to go there, do you?
Definitely not.
Pantheo spun it, sorry to interrupt, just before the bridge, and Zago got past him. It looks like Al Payson is just a little bit too far back to capitalise. But yes, Pantheo, in a rare error in this race, has dropped it and has lost a place to Zago. And amazingly, Numbers made it back into the top 10.
Actually, a good point to make is the organizers chose the right distance for this race. That the tires might last for the whole stint, for the whole distance.
Yeah.
So either way, the race is decided by the strategy today.
Yeah, I have a bit of trivia for you. In 2010, this combo was run for Fox Friday, and the length of that race was 50 laps. So there are 6 more here to try and maybe make people go for that risky strategy, which, well, at least 2 of the top 3 have gone for. And it seems as though it's going to pay off, because look at the gap between the fast-charging Yannick Attila now and Isaac Price. It's gone up to 7 seconds, finally. But yeah, how much tyre life does Yanni have? Let's see. What a performance if you can get this to the end.
Yeah, I think Yanni should be safe. It doesn't look like the tires are massively cooling down like they do before they pop. It still looks very drivable, unless he flat spots his right left massively, or the flat spots from his pit stop play a role. It should be easy win for him. Let's see. Let's not jinx it. I hope I didn't.
Well, the last time you were racing, I jinxed you. So yeah, let's not do it.
So I'm allowed a few as well.
Yeah, you need to build up your quota for the month.
So Yone enters the final turn and goes to start-finish straight to start the final lap of the race.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant effort so far. He's only got 1 lap to go, and let's watch him. Let's watch him do it. Fingers crossed nothing goes wrong. Across start-finish for Yannick Attila, and what a race it's been. It didn't go all his way, did it, so far? But he is back in the lead after a bold strategy call, which seems, at least so far, as he goes through turn 2, to have paid off. And yeah, a very, very strong performance from a driver who, you know, he's been very, very... Oh, he's... what's he doing? Is he having to fuel save?
Oh no. Maybe he wants close finish with Isaac?
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah.
he's lifting off for some reason. Hopefully he's got enough fuel to get to the end.
Yeah.
Certainly should have. We hope. Oh no! Ooh,
Or-
that's definitely fuel saving.
Yeah, it looks weird. Let's see what he does, because
He's putting the clutch in to try and save fuel. Isaac is not too far behind. He cannot afford to lose any more
gap came
time.
down to less than 5 seconds. So let's see if Yoni played a risky game and.
Why
does it
would he?
pay off?
Why would he take the risk on the tyres when he knew he was going to gain 6 seconds? It doesn't make sense. I don't know what Yanni's doing here, but he's got 1 corner to go, and Isaac could very legitimately get him here at the final corner. This race has come down to fuel, not tyres. Yanni, what have you done? He comes out of the final corner. He's going to have to pin it and
Yeah,
hope that he rolls it across
gap
the
is
line.
big.
Here we
Gap is
go.
big.
I bet
It will
not
be
too
almost
big.
Photo finish, but Yoni wins.
Yanni
wins
Attila.
by less than 1 second as Isaac disconnects right away.
Ah, from the server. We have actually lost the timing again, unfortunately, but we will. And the race is going to restart in 50 seconds unless they cancel that. So some issues here in LFS 0.6b. We'll get you those pictures as quickly as we can for the finish. But yeah, what an absolute race we've had today. This was absolutely awesome stuff. Let's just get this back up for you guys, and we will bring this race to a close.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fragmasters entered the time countdown, so the race will finish as in full distance for all drivers.
So yeah, there we are. Yannick Attila, wow. You couldn't have made it any closer than that. There was absolutely no need to be
Yeah.
that risky on fuel. It's
He
absolutely staggering.
ran out of fuel because
Yeah. But anyway, it is true to say, as we hear in our ear again, that Yanni would not have known that Isaac wasn't going to change tyres as well. So he was trying to make his fuel last just enough time. And, you know, if Isaac had done the same, this would have been a different story. Isaac may have gone into the lead. But yes, Yanni's out of fuel. He's being pushed around by one of the Sidus cars. Isaac came home in P2. He has disconnected from the server, so he won't be on the podium photo unless he rejoins. Gabor in P3. That will probably be a surprise. Mauna Casa was in P3 for quite a little while. Oh, hello. That's not what we want to see. But was forced to change tyres. He didn't think he could get to the end, and then had an issue with his with back markers. We have the final car across the line, and therefore the full classification of the order. But before we run you down that full order, we will get hopefully 2/3 of a podium photo once this train has reached the station. But yeah, Zdeněk, can you sum up your thoughts on this awesome 11th anniversary race of the Fox Friday series by Fragmasters?
Well, it was great action from start to finish. Definitely, we saw from the start big battles of big groups going on, and in the end, we saw how this turned out as Joni gave us a big scare, leading for most of the race, and then winning it by less than 1 second. I think everyone will be satisfied, at least from the spectators' point of view. The drivers, I think definitely Iron Donny. Zesty might not be so happy. Mauna Casa will be disappointed with Mr. Mazepin's actions. And Christian probably, because of his crash, much lower than he should have been. But it was a great race and big celebration, 11 years of Fragmasters. And yeah, I think we all enjoyed it.
Certainly did. Yeah, we have an imposter on the podium. Isaac Price should be there, but he is not. Joni's in the middle. Gabor on the right, and I think that's TJ who's snuck on in the absence of Isaac Price. But there we are. The finishes from the podium finishes from the 11th anniversary race here on Sim Broadcasts. Awesome stuff. Alrighty, we will take a very, very quick pause and see if we have anyone to talk to after that. I'm sure we will. So yeah, let's head back to for a bit of a calm after that, because that was quite something. I'm absolutely super happy with how that went. Alrighty, so I think we can now do the full classification of the order from the race. And let's get that up on screen right now. So, winning quite emphatically ahead of Isaac Price was Joni Katila by a whole 9/10 of a second after he cut it super fine on the fuel. Gabor came home in third. Then it was Road Appraisers TJ in fourth. Rodolfo for Teo in P5. Then it's Onifus for Fragmasters in P6. Master Race Cars Zesty P7. Iron Donny in P8. Then we've got Siduses Unite in P10. And Number did make it into the top 10 after a pretty dramatic race. Zago put in a great early performance and he finishes P11. Al Payson for Fragmasters, he'll be happy with P12. Pantheo for Teo in P13. Race Green's Magic P14. Finn UK, Christian, Mauna Casa and Michael, Rando and Yeroloco round out the top 20. So yeah, Mauna Casa was actually classified in P17 overall. On the second page of the results, we have in P21 Ayub El Hanouni with a retirement, 43 laps down. Redbot in 22nd, Pedro for Road Appraiser in P23, Strutter P24, and in 25th and last, completing only 3 laps of the race apparently, which is where he went. That doesn't sound right to me, but anyway, there we go. In P25. I don't know how you can be 57 laps down in a 56 lap race. We'll have to look into that, but there we go. There we go. Possibly a rejoin we're hearing. So he probably rejoined and then left the race afterwards. Okay, good. Glad we solved that one. Do we have any drivers to talk to? Like we do. We've got a Mr. Joni Katila. Joni, congrats.
Greetings, Joni. Congratulations.
Hi, thanks. Well, I kind of two-paid it, Isaac, but it's fine.
Yeah, how was the fuel at the end? Tell us.
I realized after sector 1 I had 1.6 left.
So it did. It came down to the wire on the fuel. That's absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, you managed that last lap absolutely perfectly to bring home a win. What was your reaction at the pit stop when Isaac changed his tyres?
Well, it was funny. We were speculating if we should change tires or not, like before the race. And like, obviously he said if he's second he wouldn't change because he wants to win, so I went the other way.
Have you guys
Anyway.
been in channel together during the race, or was it everyone on his own?
Not this time. I was streaming myself.
The gloves were off. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty evident when Isaac disappeared straight after the finish. He was not happy that you got him. But well done, Yoni. That was absolutely awesome. Give us your view of the whole race and that, and then maybe we can talk a little bit about the amazing history of the Fragmasters Fox Friday series.
Well, before the race, I made a stupid change and put too much oversteer, so I was kind of struggling with my rears a bit in sector 3, absolutely sector 3, and last turn was really bad. And then also I made a massive mistake in sector 2 chicane, and Isaac got past, and then we were on train, and yeah, I think he would have won if I had changed tires too, but it was fun anyway.
Great stuff.
You gave us quite a scare here in the race, end of the race, as we said. So thanks for that, because
yeah, we were just talking about your tires. We thought, oh, his tires are really cold. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then it turned out to be your fuel that was the problem. So there we go. Thanks for that.
No problem.
But yeah, back to my second question. 11 years of Fox Fridays. What do you make of that? It's quite an achievement.
Yeah, it is. I think I didn't race here in the past much, like before last year. I had like maybe 1 or 2 races, but now I somehow got addicted. And yeah, it's been fun. The level has been nice, and yeah, congrats to FM for 11 years. It's a long time. And hopefully the new update for LFS is coming soon, so we can enjoy some new content.
Yeah, and on that subject, if you open up the other instance of Live for Speed on your computer, you'll get the updated Westhill. What is your thoughts of returning to the 0.6b version? It must be a bit nostalgic for you.
Yeah, the track wasn't so interesting, but anyway, yeah, brings back fun times. I'm using my old tag that I had in the days, I think. So yeah, brings fun memories.
Yeah, cool stuff. Anyway, great to see you, Yoni. I hope to see you competing in more stuff in Live for Speed in the future.
Yeah, thanks. See you guys.
Cheers, Yoni. Have a good one. Zdravko Topolniak, Fragmaster's number, joins us in the commentary box now. Zdravko didn't go all your way, but you can be pleased, I think, with the top 10.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Hello to everybody. Yeah, I wanted to. I had some problems with guys that had lower fuel at the start, but I didn't know that they had lower fuel, so I pushed a lot, and I guess I pushed it a bit too hard.
A little bit, a couple of rare errors, it has to be said, but yeah, your qualifying did not go to plan, or did it? Let me ask you that. What did you make of your qualifying first of all?
Well, I went with a different set than I had before, because I did like 2-3 laps with full tank of fuel, and it looked like it might be a faster setup. And I didn't even have a quali set for this. This kind of tracks, I just do quali with race setups, and it kinda, I wasn't too happy with a lap. I think 33.4 should be possible for me there, but it was still okay. I mean, for me, this whole race was more about getting the guys to race. I was just happy that everything is kinda working good. I did notice that we had a bit more problems probably with ping and guys timing out of the server, but
yeah.
But other than that, I think that whole race kind of went okay, and the whole race I was kind of having that in the mind. I went into the race just to have a bit of fun. Too bad that I didn't manage to catch a night at the end, but I was pushing whole race, and it was lots of fun to drive this track again.
Well, great to have us along. We really enjoyed it. We had our own problems, as you'll find out, but there we are. It was good fun to be back in Old Westhill. What do you make of this track anyway? It must bring back some great memories of your old races that you used to do.
Yeah, I was just talking with Rudolfa that we were basically racing this 11 years ago, same track, and we were fighting like we were today. Yeah, it's been so long and so many races ago, and we had brilliant races on this track, all the way back to Fox Junkies time, where we had a sprint race server where we did like short sprints and we ran Westhill a lot. It's still a good track. I think it's still a good track. I have to say that I'm a bit sad that when they introduced New Westhill, they didn't just let the Old Westhill in the game. Like it could be a good addition to have it in the new game anyway. Because I think it's not enough of a difference to existing track that it wouldn't take away from them.
They have their reasons. Maybe in the future we'll enjoy some legacy tracks. Anyway, yeah, Zdravko, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having us along. It was great. We hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, congratulations, 11 years of Fragmasters, Box Fridays.
Oh, thank you.
Brilliant. Yeah, and on that note, we will bring the broadcast to a close. I think Zdeniak, it's been awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed this one. It certainly brought back the nostalgia for sure.
Yeah, let's hope for more of this. Not too much, but something in the future.
Yeah, definitely. We hope you enjoyed it, watching from wherever you're watching on Twitch and YouTube on the Sim Broadcasts channel. We hope you can join us for the next one. Our calendar is available at simbroadcasts.tv/calendar for all of the upcoming races that we've got coming your way in Live for Speed and iRacing. From all of us here, it's been a great evening. Have a good one. Good night.
Good night.